So let's pick the first one. Spread operator. Now, when you spread something, what do you understand by the word spread? To spread something. You lay it, right? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you spread something, you lay it, and that's what spread operator does. It helps you to lay something, to lay it out. Let's start with this. Let's see how to spread. You can use it with an array or with an object. So let's use it with an array. Let's say I have an array like this. I have this. The syntax for spread operator is 3 dots, 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 dots. That's the syntax to spread something. So if I spread this array like this, if I say console log, then I want to spread this array, all I just need to do is dot, 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 arr. So what I'm doing is I'm laying it. Like, in other words, like we are pulling it out of the array. Do we get it? You are pulling it out, you are laying it. So it's going to be laid. What you're going to see, the results you're going to have will look like this. It's going to be exactly like this, but now without the square braces. Do we get it? It's going to be like this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But without the square braces. That's what the spread operator does. It's like you are just laying it out. You are spreading it out of its container. So let's check this in the browser. This is it. We've successfully spread it. And that's what the spread operator does. So how important is it? Let's look at it. It's very important and it's cool. Let's see. I have a new array. Let me call it second array. And the second array, let's assume I want it to be 1, 2, 3. Then I want it to have all of this, everything in the first array. I want it to be here, something like this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then 9, 10. Or don't let me say 9, let's say 20, 40. Let's have it. So we want to have this 1, 2, 3, then everything here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then 20, 40, like this. Now one thing I want us to notice is this: if the content of this array should increase like this, I want this to automatically change to this also. Do we get what we are doing now? If I should add more items to this, then I want this to automatically update itself. Spread operator is the perfect syntax to get this done. But for us to understand how important it is, now I will give us a little task to do. With the knowledge of ES5 and everything we've done so far, can you tell me what to do so that we have this result? Imagine this. Let me remove this. I want a new array. Then I want everything here to be here, to be inside this place. What am I going to do with what we've done so far?
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay, I said I want everything here. I just want everything here like this to be here. So what do you think I can do based on what we've done so far?
Hold on.
You said? You might be thinking that why not just write this here like this? You might be thinking of that, but then it's not the result. It's not going to give us the result we want. And here is the reason. Let me say console log second error like this. Let me close this page. Okay. So these are.
So I'm not seeing your screen.
Oh, let me share it. Sorry. Let me share it again now. So, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen
Not
now?
yet. Okay,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
fine.
Okay. So I said, in order to we want to achieve this result, so that everything here will be here like this. So I said, well, you might think like this. You might say that, why not just put ARR here like this? Of course, you know, when you put ARR, it's going to copy this and place it here. But I said that will not give us the results we want. It won't. And the reason it won't give us the result is because when you check it out on the browser, you have this. This is index 0. This is index 1. This is index 2. Index 3 is this array. Which should it be? We just want 4 to be the index 3, 5 to be the index 4. Do you understand? We don't want this whole array to be the index 3. No. Instead, we want to achieve this result. Copy what is here. Like this. So this is we want this to be the index 3. This is index 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and like that. Not like this. Not like this. This whole array now is index 3. That's not what we want. Do we understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to achieve this without ES6, you would have had to maybe use for loop, or you use array concat. You just have look for different ways to manipulate it, which will not be so straightforward. But thank God for ES6, I can just do like this. Dot 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 ARR. It will just copy all of this and spread it here. So when we check the console, let's go to the browser and refresh. Do we see the result?
Wow. Wow.
So that's the work of the spread operator. You can just spread it. You just copy all of this and paste it here. But remember, it's not going to copy the square braces around it. It will just copy whatever is inside like this. Then paste it wherever you need it. Do we have any question?
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the question I want to answer is, sir, must it always be 3 dots?
Yes, that's the syntax.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's go to how to spread an object. You've seen how to spread an array. Let's see how to spread an object. So let's say I have, since we've done this, we can say let obj equals to name. Then school. That's what you are. So I have this variable called obj. Now I want to create a new variable that looks like this. Let new obj equals to this. So I want this new obj to have department, and the value of department I want it to be BCH. Then I also want it to have whatever we have here with it, meaning that I also want it to have this taille and this name and scope. I want this new obj to have whatever is here together with this department BCH. Do we get what we have to do?
Yes.
Okay. So in order to make our work so easy, we can just use spread operator dot obj. That solves it. So I can say console log
Wow.
name obj. So let's go straight to the browser and check. Department name scope. Now I want us to note something here before we leave this part. If I want the name inside this place to be something else aside taille, then I can change it. Tell me.
So I say what?
If I want the name in this new obj to be something else aside taille, then I can change it. I can override it. Do we get
Okay.
it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm saying here is, although it's going to copy everything here and make it available here, but by saying name Kenny, this Kenny will override whatever might be here. So when we check it now, the name will be Kenny, but the school will still be UI since I didn't override that. Then the position of this really matters. The position of this Kenny really matters. If it's before the OBJ, the name will be Taye, will still remain Taye. That's because the name will first be Kenny, but whatever name is coming from OBJ will now override this Kenny. So the name, when I check it now, the name will be Taye, not Kenny. Do we get it?
Sorry, come again, sir.
Okay.
You said the first one, the OBJ name.
With this, when we add this, we realize that the name, when we check it, the name on the browser is Kenny. And also, remember, this OBJ itself has a name, which is Taye.
Yes. Yes.
Then we have another name here, which is Kenny. This name will override this.
Okay, okay.
But if this name should come before the OBJ, like this, or like this, when we check it, the name will still remain Taye, not Kenny. That's because the name will first be Kenny, but when it gets to this place and it sees another name as Taye, the Taye here will override this. So the position really matters. Do we understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So when we check this now, the name will be Taye. Name is Taye. Not Taye. So any question on split operator? So with split operator, it's like you are copying the content without the container. You are just copying the content and putting it wherever you want to. So let's go to the next one, which is REST operator. REST operator. REST operator has the same syntax as split operator. It is also three dots. Dots, dots, dots. It is also three dots. But let's look at the difference between these two. When you are calling on REST, this REST, look at it from the REST. Look at it from this word, the REST. Now, imagine I want to, let's say, give my sister something, or maybe someone. Yes, good. Maybe someone gave me and my sister something, my twin sister something to share, and I not told my twin sister that, see, I've taken my part, you own the rest. It means that what I'm just saying is you own the remainder, you own what is left after I have taken my part, and that is what REST operator does. What I'm saying here is this: I've taken my part, whatever you have left after I've taken part of it is the rest. Are we getting it? Whatever
Yes.
is left after I've taken part of it is the rest. That is what REST operator does. You want to, let's say we have an array. You want to take part of the array. After taking part of the array, something should be left. What you have left now will be handled by REST operator. Do we understand it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's look at example together. Let's say I have here like this, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I told us in our last class that I can destructure this thing, right? I can, destruction is like you are taking part of something. That is what we are doing with destructuring. I can say let A B equals to ARR. If I say console log B, what will I say?
You see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
From our last class,
Hold on, no. So what is the question again?
if I say console log B or alert B, what will I see? We will see 4. A will be the first value here.
Yes,
B will be the second value here. Depends what we discussed in our last class. If I say ABC, C will be the third value here. Are we getting it?
yes.
Let's just okay. A will be the 3, B will be 4, C will be 5, D will be 6, E will be 7, F will be 8. Okay. So A will be 3, B will be 4, C will be 5, D will be 7, D will be 6, E will be 7, and F will be 8. That's what we discussed in our last class. But let's stop here. Let's just say AB. A will be 3 and B will be 4. So let's just say alert A like this. Sorry. If I say alert B, good. Let's now proceed. We've taken part of this array. We've taken the first and the second value. What do we have left? What do we have left?
We have 5 and 8.
5, 6, 7, 8. We can now say dot C. That means whatever you have left after I've taken these two.
Okay.
Do you understand it? The rest, the remainder. After I've taken this, assign it to C. So
Assign it to C, which is the next alphabet.
You said?
I mean that means the next alphabet is what you assign it to.
No, it can be anything. It can be.
Can you say assign it to F?
Yes, you can assign it to anything, like just any variable name of your choice.
Okay.
So what we are doing here is we've taken the first value, assigned it to 3. We've taken the we've taken the first value here, we've assigned it to A. We've taken the second value, we've assigned it to B. Whatever you have left, assign it to F. So with that, when I say, let's say alert F, you are going to see all of this in the array. This is actually an array. Let me use console log so that you see very well. It's an array. So what you have left, this is the rest. Do we get how rest operator works now?
Sir,
Yeah.
Yes,
sir, I lost my connection. Please, sir. Please, I'm begging you.
okay.
Sir, can you come back?
Alright.
Please, sir.
With rest operator, rest means whatever you have left after you've taken part of something. Whatever
Yes,
we
sir.
have left after we've taken part of something is rest, like the rest, the remainder. So in this case, from our last class, we did something like this. I explained to us that A will be 3 and B will be
Yes.
4.
Yes.
And that is what the structuring does. The structuring takes part of something. It takes part of the whole. So, what you now want to do is, I can now say, like this. So what you have left, assign it to Taye. I can use anything of my choice. Assign it to num, something like this. So it's going to take whatever you now have left and assign it to num. So if I say console log num, you will see an array of these 4 numbers. These 4 numbers, the remaining, what you have left, will now be inside num. Kindly note that whenever you are using rest operator, it has to be the last thing there. It has to be the last thing there. You've taken part of it. Whatever you have left, you are assigning it to num. Any question?
Yes, sir. No question, sir.
Okay. So we'll
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. We've seen how to use REST operator with an array. So let's see how to use this with an object. We can say let's name so what I'm doing here is I'm only taking out name out of it. I'm only destructuring name. Whatever you have left will now be assigned to info. I can destructure department alone. So whatever we have left, which is now name and school. Remember, when you are dealing with objects, the position does not matter. It is the key that matters. But when you are dealing with array, the position matters. But when you are dealing with an object, the position does not matter. It is the key that matters. So what you are doing here is you are destructuring department out. So whatever you have left will now be assigned to info. So we can come here and say console log info, and you're going to see a new object. That new object will not have obj is not iterable. Oh, sorry. So name school. Do we understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So that is how to use the REST operator. Now, one of those ways or one of those things you are going to be saying often when you are using REST operator is this. Imagine we have a function, and my function, let me just call it my func.
But sorry, you know, last class you said we should not be.
You said?
Instead of using function, why not use let? Shabi said, I think you mentioned we should use let instead of function.
Instead of?
You said we should use let.
No, we are going to, when we get to arrow functions, we will explain that better. But for now, let's just continue with this. We are coming to arrow, we should be able to start arrow functions today. So let me pass this array. Let's say 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, this array will be sent as the value of this, right? Abina.
Yes.
When we call on this function, this array will be sent as the value of a, r, r. So that when we come here and we say console log arr, we will see the whole array. We can now do something. Maybe I'm not interested in, let's say, 7. I'm only interested in the rest. 8, 9, 10. It's possible. Or maybe I'm only interested in 7. Let's take it one by one. Let's say I'm only interested in 7, but I'm not interested in others. I'm only interested in 7, but I'm not interested in others. We can destructure it. We can destructure it. I'm only interested in 7, which is the first value in this array. So we can come here and say, put a square braces and put maybe anything, num. So this 7 will be assigned to num, but every other thing will be discarded. If I'm interested in 7 and 8, I can call this second. 7 will be sent to num and 8 will be sent to second. This is destructuring. Just like we did in our last class. Note these square braces. Note these square braces also. 7 will be sent to num and 8 will be sent to second. I'm only interested in
what of 9 and 10?
They are thrown away. Just the same way, just imagine it like this. imagine this. Let num second equals to 7, 8. I think we did something like this in our last class, and I explained to us that num would be 7 will be assigned to num, and 8 will be assigned to seconds. So that's what is happening here also. 7 is assigned to num, and 8 is assigned to second.
Okay.
So inside this loop now, inside this function now, sorry, we can now say maybe num times second. We can now use num and second as variables here. So that's 7 times 8, 56. Do we get it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So why are you tying it?
Maybe that's what I want to do. You can do whatever you want with it.
Okay.
So maybe I'm only interested in, I want to multiply just the first two values together. That's all. So I can just easily do this. But you know, with ES5, you have to go to a long way. I have to first assign this whole array to a variable. I will now say ARR index 0 times ARR index 1.
Yes.
This is what I would have done, and this will be there. So, but then with this now is very short and straightforward. This if you assign to this if you assign to this, then I can now say num times second, and that solves the problem. But then let's now say the rest. I want to assign the rest also to a variable. I can just call it third or anything. So whatever you have left now will be assigned to third. Because this is an array, third will also be an array. So I will just come here and say. So what am I going to say?
9 and 10.
Good. 9 and 10. So the first 9, 10. So you're going to be seeing things like this often. Especially when in our next stage, when we start dealing with React, you'll be seeing things like this.
So are you recording this class?
Is that?
Are you recording this class?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So let's.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. So this is how to use REST. You can also do it for an object. You can also do this for something like this. You can destructure an object, and you can use REST operator for it, just like we've explained. So let's go to the next thing here, arrow functions. And this is where we are going to stop tonight before I talk about our last assignment. So remove all of this and let's see how we've been creating functions. Before now, we've been creating our functions like this. So we start arrow function today. Don't worry, we won't complete it today. In our next class, I'll bring up arrow function again, then we'll talk about HOF, higher order functions. So we have this is a function. And it's fine. But in ES6, if you want to create a function using ES6, first you assign it to a variable. And note that I'm using a constant. You can use your length, it will still work fine. But the reason we are using a constant is this. Imagine what we want to do is this. I'm saying let my func equals to, then in ES6 we introduce an arrow like this. Let me turn this to ES6. Just come here, introduce the arrow here and put equal to here. So remove this and change it to a variable. Let's my func has come to ES6 function. So the reason we call it arrow function is because of this arrow. Some people call it fat arrow function. Fat arrow function. But I think most people call it arrow functions. So this is a fat arrow function. This is an arrow function. It is just like this function, just like your ES5 function. But we are going to look at some of the differences between ES5 and ES6 function. Number one, ES6 function does not have the function keyword. As you can see, there is no function keyword here. Number two, ES6 function has an arrow. ES5 does not. So when you are looking at the syntax, I think those are the two striking things when you are comparing ES5 function with ES6 function. But we have more. But in terms of syntax, I think those are those things you can easily observe. ES5 function has function keyword. ES6 does not. Why ES6 function has an arrow, ES5 does not. Let's now proceed and look at some other things. Now notice that I said it's good to use const here instead of let. Reason is this. Here you are saying let my func equals to this, right? You might have forgotten, and at some other point in your code you might mistakenly do something like this. At some other points in your code, you might mistakenly do something like this. My func equals to 4. Forgetting that it's actually a function. Do you understand? And this might constitute bug in your code. Do you understand?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So just make it const, so that even if you mistakenly write something like this, it's going to throw back an error immediately. It's not going to be until you've done a lot of things and all of that, then you now start debugging what you ought not to and start trying to fix problem that doesn't exist. So what you're going to do is just make it a constant, and that's how we write ES6 function. We write it like this. That's one. Two is this. I'll say alert. Let's say alert 7. And again, you're going to call on it the same way you've been calling on functions. Nothing different. No difference between calling on ES5 and calling on ES6 function. My func has already been declared. Oh, remove this. 7. You have 7. Let's look at another thing. Another difference is this. When you have ES5 function, remember you can put your parameter here, right? We can put parameters
yes,
here.
Yes.
AP. Again, you can also put your parameters here. And I can say alert A times B, just like ES5. So 3 becomes A and 4 becomes B. But I want us to note something, that if your function only takes one argument, like this, let's assume your function only takes one, like this. When you're writing it in ES5, ES6, please remove it. If it takes just one, remove the parentheses. But if it takes more than one, you have to put it there. Do we get it?
Yes.
If it takes just one, remove the parentheses. Well, if you put it will still work, but that's not the perfect syntax for it. Remove the parentheses and write it like this. But if it takes more than one, please put it there. And if it doesn't take any, put it there. If it doesn't take any, write it there. If it takes one, remove it. But if it takes more than one, put it there also. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So then let's look at how the return keyword works inside ES5 function and in ES6 function. Let's look at the difference. Imagine maybe when I call on this function, I want it to return, let's say 7. And I will come here and do the same thing. Return 7. Or let's say A. So I can say A times 7. So of course, since this will just be like this, A times 7. These two functions are doing the same thing. So let me call on the function, and I'll say console log this. So if I supply this to ES5 function, I will see 3 times 7, 21. This will console log 21. And if I also do the same thing here, this will also console log 21. But let's make some little adjustment. This is 21, and this will also give me 21. You have the same result. But remember, I told us that part of the work of VS6 is this. You are writing less codes and you are doing more things. Abi now, less code,
Yes.
more functionality. So we can reduce this code. It looks too long. You see, this is your arrow. This arrow here can also it also works as return. This arrow here, it also works as return on a condition. The condition is that if you want to use this arrow as return, there must not be this curly braces. If this curly braces is not there, this arrow will work as return. Do we understand?
Can you come again, sir?
Okay. I said this arrow here, the arrow here, it also works as return, just like this. On a condition, if you want this arrow to work as return, there must not be curly braces. These curly braces must be removed. Do we get it?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to remove the curly braces now, so that this arrow will work as return. That means we won't have to write this word return, because this arrow will do that work for us. But if you want it to do that, of course you have to remove this curly. But as long as this curly braces is there, this arrow will not work as return. So if I want it to work as return, I have to remove this curly braces. So let's do that together. I will remove the curly braces. Then I will remove this return. Good, that's all. So when I call on this function, this still is sent as the value of a, and this arrow will help me to return a times 7. That's 3 times 7, 21. It will return it back to this place. So this here and this line, they do the same thing. Do you understand? This line and all of this, they do the same thing. Any question? Let's test it. $21. If I put another value here, let's say 6, 42. Question. You see that this is very interesting. Just a single line and you are doing all of this. So that's part of the work of ES6. You are writing lesser codes, but you are doing more things. You're able to do more by writing less. Any question? So in our next class, we are going to look more into this arrow function. Then a big difference between ES5 function and this arrow function is how this word THIS, how it works in ES5 and ES6. Remember I told us that we are going to dedicate a whole class to this word THIS. We are going to dedicate a whole class to this THIS, and we're going to look at how it works in ES5 and ES6 and in other situations. So a big difference between ES5 function and ES6 function is how this word THIS, how it works in ES5 and how it works in ES6. So let me quickly summarize arrow function. Arrow function, it takes if it takes parameter. If it doesn't take any parameter, you have to put this. If it takes one, you remove it and put it. If it takes more than one, you have to bring it back and put the arguments there like this, something like this. So if it doesn't take, you have to write it like this. If it takes only one, then that one should be there. You don't need parentheses around it. But if it takes more than one, then you need to write it out. Then this arrow can also work as return in arrow function, provided there is no curly braces. Once there is curly braces, it's not going to work as return. If you want it to return, then you have to explicitly write this word return now. Let's say a times b plus c. You have to write it in full like this. But if you want the arrow to work as return, then just do this. So with this now, this arrow will return a times b plus c for you. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's now go to our assignment. The assignment I gave us in our last, some weeks back, I told us to do something like this. Have 3 inputs, or maybe 3 or more inputs. I'll call one first name. I'll just add one, and I will just call it email. Then I'll add a button. I'll click. I'll call on a function called register, and I'll say register. So when I call on the function register, help me to get what we have inside this place. So I can say f name equals to first name dot value mail equals to email dot.
Oh yeah, type.
So we're not seeing your screen. No.
Oh, let me stop sharing and share.
You have seen it now.
Let me share again. I've stopped sharing now. Can we see my screen now?
It's still loading.
Coming up fast.
Okay. What about now?
Not yet.
Can we see it?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, what's going on?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, it's fine now.
Okay. So we can have this variable f name, variable mail. So when we click on this button, it will get the first name from this, it will get the email from this, and assign them to these 2 variables respectively. Next, we can create an object. We can say variable new student or new person, something like that. Create an object. I can say first name is equal to f name mail equals to I can just say email equals to mail. So we can shorten this code also by saying, instead of us assigning this here, we can just say first name dot value email dot value. So I don't need all of this now. So once we click on this button, it will create a variable, a property first name, and the value will be whatever you have here. The property email, and the value will be whatever you have here. We are not yet done. Next, remember we want to create account number too. So we can just generate a random number. There are different ways you can do that. There are different ways you can generate a random number. You can say, remember you have your math.random, which will help you generate a random number. Then account number, I can say 10. This generates at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So variable account num equals to this. This is going to generate an account number for me. But then you want to remove all the decimal points. I think we've done something like this in one of our classes. Math.floor. So this will generate an account number for me. And if I copy this now and I run it in the console, let me run it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is an account number. If I run it again, you get another 10 digits from me. And I don't like that. You can also use your loop. You can also use loop to generate an account number. So I can now say these accounts there, I can put it here. Account num equals to account num. So variable account num, because remember in year 6 I told us that when the accounts when the key and the value are the same, you are allowed to just write 1.
Pick one.
So we can write it like this. So let's now do something. Let's say console log new person. So let me put placeholder here. So I can say tire. Then let's say abc@gmail.com. So we have this. Next is we want to save it in local storage. But before we do all of this, I want to first clear my local storage.
Welcome.
I said before we do all of this, I want to first clear my local storage. So I've cleared my local storage. So next we want to save this in the local storage. Now, when you're about saving in local storage, I will advise that you save it as an array of objects. Something like this. These are objects, but you push it into an array. I will advise that you push it into an array before saving it in local storage, so that when you want to add a new person, like new user entirely, you can go to local storage, fetch that array, then push it there, then return it back to local storage. This is what I'm saying. Before saving it, I can just say let all persons equals to an empty array, so that we can now say all persons dot push new person. So this, if I say console log all persons, so it now has one object. I can add another person now. So we now have 2 objects there. So we can now save this in local storage. We can say string 5 all persons, can say local storage dot set item. I can call this users, and the value will be this. So this is going to help us to save it in local storage. So let's do this. Before pressing that, let's check our local storage. There's nothing there. Now we have users there. Users now contains one object. If I save another one, Now it contains two objects. Now it seems to be working fine. It seems so. But we are going to run into a bug now. What we are going to do is I will refresh this page. I've refreshed the page now, and I will save a new person, Idowu, and I will save it as idowu@gmail.com. Now, if you notice something, this Idowu has replaced everything we had in our local storage initially. Do we notice that? We now have only one item in local storage instead of 3. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason we have that is this. The problem is with the location of this and what this is doing. Let me explain from the scratch. When you load the page the very first time, it's going to create an empty array for you, right? Then when you click on this button, it will push into this empty array. Let's say I click on this button twice. It will push 2 items into this empty array. It's going to push the first one, set it as local storage. When you click on it again, it will push again inside this array, set it in local storage. If I click on this button 100 times, it's going to push all the 100, which is fine. But then I'm going to run into a problem once I refresh the page. Once you refresh the page, what is going to happen is it's going to reset this thing back to an empty array. Do you understand what is going on now? This returns back to an empty array. Once you refresh the page, it will delete everything, and this returns back to an empty array. So that when you push now, whatever you now push becomes the first item in this empty array. Do you understand what is going on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's solve that problem. We can now say, instead of just saying all persist equals to empty array, we can do something. We can say that go to local storage. Go to local storage. Help us to see if there is this variable here or this property called users. If it exists, just go and fetch it for us. Fetch it for us and push it inside. If it doesn't exist, create a new one. What I mean is this. We can say local storage. You can just do something like this. Dot users. I can say if you can use a shortcut. If local storage just users, that is, if there is a property in local storage called users. In other words, it's like saying if local storage.users is not equals to undefined. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there is a property in local storage called users, then go to that local storage. Dot just say get item local storage dot get item users, get it for us. Then you can save it as, we can now do something like this. Variable ARR is empty array. You can now say ARR equals to this. So ARR is starting as an empty array. If local storage dot users, that if there's users in local storage, quickly go to the local storage. Remember I told us that this is the same thing I was just saying, right? You can just write this like this. Quickly go to the local storage, fetch the users, and let it be the value of ARR. But if this does not exist in local storage, then you can, it's going to be an empty array. ARR will start, oh, we are not using ARR, sorry, all persons, sorry. Okay, all persons will start as an empty array. If there is users in local storage, quickly go to the local storage, go and fetch the users, and let it be the new value of all person. But if this condition is not so, then of course all person will still remain an empty array. So I don't need this line again. I can remove this now. It's fine. So this is going to work very well now. Go to local storage. Go and fetch users. Oh, you're going to have a little problem. JSON dot pass. Good. If there is users in local storage, quickly go to the local storage. Go and fetch the users for us. Help us to pass it and assign it to all persons. Are we confused? Are we confused?
Hello, sir.
Are we confused?
Sir, can you come again?
Okay. So this is it. I created an empty variable, an empty array here, variable all persons, which is an empty array. This is a conditional statement. This condition says if there is a property called users in our local storage, then do this. But if this condition is not true, if there is no property called users in our local storage, then these all persons will still be an empty array. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there is property called users in local storage, then it will do this. But if there is no property called users in local storage, then this will still be an empty array. We can now push into this empty array. Do you understand? So I think this should work fine now. Let's go to this place. Refresh now. Now look at something. We already have a property called users. So what is going to happen is this conditional statement will be met, and it's going to do this for us. It's going to, because this condition is so. We have a property in our local storage called users. So I've refreshed the page, and I will add Taiwo, let's say nifetai@gmail.com. So good, it's working fine. I can add Kenny, and I can say kenny@gmail.com, and it's working fine. So I can clear my local storage now and start from the scratch also, and it should still work fine. Good. Oh, okay. Now what is happening here is that because we didn't refresh the page, all this, they were still stored inside these all persons. What I'm saying is this: if I had refreshed the page, it would have been, after clearing it, if you had refreshed the page like this, it would have been totally different. Yeah, we have this, got this. So then remember I said email should be unique. You can handle that on your own. Ensure that the email is unique. Ensure that the account number is unique. Before adding account number, you can check if account number exists there. If it exists, then tell the person, oh sorry, you should, in fact, since we are the ones generating account number, you should not be able to generate two account number. I don't think this math.random will generate two account numbers that are the same. Like, the probability is very slim, except if you are going to have up to how many users? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This million. Except if you are going to have up to 10 billion users in your application. Except if you are going to have up to 10 billion users in your application. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, I think this is just to help us with the assignment. Do you have any question concerning the assignment, or where you think you need explanation on? Okay.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why is it that if you are storing something in local storage, you always put it like in
It's always
quotes?
you always put it in quotes.
Yes. What I mean is, you always simplify the this
Okay.
thing.
I think I explained that in the video I did, the local storage video I did the other day. I told us that everything, in fact, before local storage stores anything, it automatically converts it to string. It automatically converts it to string. So what we are just trying to do is by stringifying it, we are just telling local storage not to bother converting it to string because it's already a string. So that's the
Okay.
reason we stringify it. You can watch the local storage video I did. I sent to the group. You can watch it, and I think that explains that
Okay, sir.
question. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Any other question? Now let's now take our assignments a step further. The next task is this. We've been able to register, then we should be able to log in. Now, I want us to do something. Every user should have an account balance of 50,000. Every user, like immediately a user registers in your application, then that user, and that registration is successful. Immediately that registration is successful, that user should have an account balance of 50,000 naira. Everybody. So when I log into my account now, I should see an account balance of 50,000. Next is this. On my page, there should be a page. That is after I logged in now. I can now go to maybe transfer page. Transfer page. On that page, I should be able to tell you the amount I want to transfer. There should be an input. Enter the amount you want to transfer. Let's say I type 10,000. I'll be able to type an amount on the transfer page. Let's say transfer page. On that page, I should be able to type amount. Then I should be able to type account number. That is, who do I want to transfer this money to? Sorry, a second please. Okay, let's continue. So on the transfer page, I should be able to have an amount, like I should be able to type amount and the account number I want to transfer that amount to. So let's say I typed 10,000 here and I type an account number that is valid. The account number should be part of the account number existing in my application. Remember, you own the whole application. You are like the bank here. You are like the bank. So on your page, one of your users want to transfer to someone else, and it must be an account number that is already registered with you. So if let's say I try to transfer 70,000 and I only have 50,000, then you should tell me maybe the amount you are trying to transfer is too much or something like that. Maybe you don't have up to that amount. Just give me a message, and it's not going to be successful. It won't, because the amount I'm trying to transfer is more than my balance. But if also I try to transfer to an account number that is not existing or that is not present in my application, then it should also tell you that the account number you are trying to transfer to is not correct. But if both are correct, that is, the amount I'm trying to transfer is lesser than or equal to the amount I have, and the account number I'm trying to transfer to is present in my application, then the transfer should be successful. Then you tell me, oh, transfer successful. Just tell me transfer successful. Then if I log in to that other account number, let's say, remember at the beginning, everybody had an account balance of 50,000 at the beginning. So let's say Mr. A transferred 20,000 to Mr. B. The account number of Mr. A now the account balance of Mr. A now should be 30,000. While the account balance of Mr. B should be 70,000, because Mr. A has transferred 20,000 naira to Mr. B. So if I log into Mr. B's account and I check the balance, then it should be 70,000. And if I log into Mr. A's account, I should see 30,000. Do you get what you have to do? Hello, everybody.
Hello, sir. We are with you, sir.
Okay. So, of course, there should also be a button to log out. I should be able to log out. just like just the way you have local storage just set item and get item, I think you also have remove item. If you want to remove a specific item from local storage, I think there's local storage dot remove item. You can read up on that. So that should help you to handle the log out. Any question before we call it a day?
So I want to summarize what you said about the thing you want us to have to the assignment. If I do get it, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. After we have gotten to the dashboard, that's when we should create another page for the transfer page, right?
Yes, sir.
So, like on the dashboard, there should be a link that will take you to the transfer page,
Good.
or on the dashboard itself, I should be able to make the transfer. Can you please clarify that,
You
please, sir?
can do anyone, whether you want it to be on another page or you want to be on that one. Anyone that you think for best user experience, just you can do anyone. You can do anyone.
It's better it's be on the. There's no problem, sir. There's no problem. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, thank you very much. I will upload the video on YouTube and send the link to us. Have a lovely
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your time. I just want to say thank you, boss. I've learned a lot from you this night, and I'm very happy.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you too, sir. Thank you.